Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charles, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and when we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today I have an episode for you guys that you definitely don't want to miss. So let me just get into the episode right here. Now, excuse me. It is no secret that Skip Bayless is not the biggest fan of Russell Westbrook, right? No big secret at all. He has been the number one voice in the media, at least this season, that has highlighted the terrible play of Russell Westbrook for the Lakers. Literally, like, it got to the point where Skip Bayless on a daily basis would put together these lowlights of Russell Westbrook, either, you know, just blunders, like turning over the ball, missing dunks, missing layups, so many different things, right? It became like a main staple on their show, Undisputed, right? So Skip Bayless has made his opinions about Russell Westbrook very, very, very clear. And it got so bad, or it got to the point rather, that Russell Westbrook's wife actually came out on social media, on Twitter, and essentially went at Skip Bayless because he was calling calling Russell Westbrook Russell Westbrook. And it created this big conversation in sports, right? And even Shannon Sharp was on the side of Skip Bayless saying, listen, the reason people are calling you this is because of your play. And he's like, I don't hear LeBron James complaining when they call him this and this and this. So why can't you, right? So it created this big conversation. And basically, since that point, Skip Bayless she told him that she asked him if he could stop. And he kindly declined her request, and he kept on doing his job. So today, was just kind of surfing the web, looking for some news, and because this video was totally unplanned, and I stumbled upon a segment, from the Skip Bayless show, his new show on YouTube, and what he said in this particular segment, in my personal opinion, is probably the biggest bombshell of his entire career. If it is not the biggest, it is certainly one of them. So before I even go any further, we want to play some of the comments that Skip Bayless had to make, and then we're going to come back and really unpack this thing. So take a listen to some of the things that Skip Bayless had to say here.
Russell Westbrook. After I carefully watched number 0, as in 0 rings, Russell Westbrook, this entire basketball season, I watched every dribble, I watched every turnover, I watched every wildly missed shot, and I came to this conclusion. Russell Westbrook, quote unquote, slam dunk, first ballot, Hall of Famer, does not belong in the Hall of Fame. I came to the conclusion that for sure, Russell Westbrook does not belong in the NBA's all-time top 75 in honor of this 75th year of the NBA. And to demonstrate this, allow me briefly to walk you back through the most bizarre rise of any player in the history of this league, it's 75 years, along with the parts that I played in said rise. I have a source I've been very close to for a long time in this league who's very smart. I might even go so far as to say knows more hoops than I do. He texted me about a month ago and he said, come on, this is the same skill set, or lack thereof, that we've seen in Russ from the start back to UCLA. And that's exactly true. He's the same guy. Why on Undisputed did we have an almost daily Russell Westbrook turnover blooper reel or bad shot blooper reel? It's because he is who we didn't think he was, didn't realize he was. He was Westbrook from the start. So what did we see? I've been saying on Undisputed, he has the worst hands of any point guard I've ever seen, ever in pro or college basketball. He just has a terrible pair of hands. He cannot hold on to the basketball.
That is a That is a massive statement to make because we're talking about Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook and his all-time standings, talking about the pantheon of great NBA players, has been one of the most head-scratching thought experiments I've undertaken in the past. And whenever I think about it, I know I'm gonna have to do a lot of mental gymnastics to really get my way, really make my way around it. Someone left a comment on the channel the other day because we posted something about Kawhi Leonard, and he said Kawhi Leonard may end up having the most complicated NBA career to assess when he retires. And I think Russell Westbrook is in that same, it's in that same boat. For the majority of Russell Westbrook's career, what happened was he was playing in markets that seldom got national media attention. He was playing in OKC, right? If you omit or subtract the year that they went to the NBA Finals, I believe it was in 2011, 2012, where they faced the Miami Heat, where they lost, I believe, in 5 games to LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh, when LeBron James won his first NBA championship. They really weren't making any noise. And whenever they did make noise, and I'm not talking about how well they played, but just like on the national level, and whenever they did make noise was when Kevin Durant decided that he wanted to leave OKC. That's when it started getting a lot of, because there was drama, right? And everyone wants to listen to some drama, like some gossip or something, right? So that's the reason why the falling out of KD, and Russell Westbrook, they were running mates, and then KD ultimately went to go join the Golden State Warriors. So that's really when we paid attention to him. But really, what Russell Westbrook's claim to fame was when he averaged a triple-double. The season in which Russell Westbrook, when he was pursuing that milestone, that achievement, something that we thought no other NBA player could ever achieve since, the Big O, Oscar Robertson, we thought that it was something that, it was just one of those records that would never fall. It's like a 100-point game in the NBA. And as it was getting close to that season and towards the end, when we saw that he was going to do that, I think everyone in the media, including the fans, all of us said, listen, this guy has to be the MVP. I mean, all of us were praising Russell Westbrook. We were praising him. But what we missed along the way was also this. In the midst of him averaging triple doubles, his teams were not successful. I want you guys to think about this. Ever since Kevin Durant stopped being a teammate of Russell Westbrook, the Oklahoma City Thunder never made it out of the first round since the departure of KD. They made it to the playoffs, but they never made it out of the first round since the moment Kevin Durant walked out of the door. That is a telling stat. The second thing is this. When you sit back and you start to analyze these triple doubles, you end up asking yourself a very pertinent question, and that question is this. What has all of those triple doubles amounted to? And when you ask yourself that question, you quickly discover that Russell Westbrook, for his playoff career, has a 55-56 record. So for all of those triple doubles, he is basically he has a 500 winning record in the playoffs. So what does that say about triple doubles? Really, what does it say? That if this guy is able to inhale all of these rebounds and, dish out all of these assists, score all of these points, but his teams can't win games, then what is the utility of a triple-double? Is it a vanity stat? Is it something that looks good on a box score? Or is it something that actually contributes to winning? Now, back to what Skip Bayless said. He said Russell Westbrook isn't a Hall of Famer. Let me say this. I don't think there's any way Russell Westbrook doesn't make it into the NBA Hall of Fame. I just don't think there's any way that happens. I think he's going to get into the Hall of Fame regardless of whether he's going. Those voters are not going to overlook that. However, to his point about being a top 75 player, I'm not sure. Are we really sure about that? Because if you say, okay, he's a top 75 player, then I got to ask you, if I look at all the other players on that list, all of them have either won or have been the primary reason that their teams were successful. And you look at Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson led his team to the NBA Finals and lost to Shaq and Kobe, right, as a small guy. You look at, what's the other guy that just, you look at Allen Iverson. I mean, there's so many other players. You look at Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley led his team to the NBA Finals and faced Michael Jordan. He lost. You look at Karl Malone and John Stockton. They went to the NBA Finals in back-to-back seasons and they lost to Michael Jordan, but at least they got to the finals. These were, Allen Iverson was the man when he was doing that. But Russell Westbrook has not been able to capture any similar success since the departure of Kevin Durant. So are we really sure? For sure, I think Anthony Davis was put on the top 75 list prematurely. He doesn't deserve, he's a Hall of Famer, but I'm not sure he's a top 75 player whatsoever, right? So it's a hell of a thought experiment. And really, this particular segment we're producing is really for you guys. Number one, what do you think about what Skip Bayless had to say at the beginning of his salvo, to use his words? Do you think that Russell Westbrook is not a Hall of Famer? And do you think Russell Westbrook deserves to be in the top 75 list of all NBA players in the history of the game, or he shouldn't? Whatever you guys think, I would love to hear what you guys think in the comment section. Leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. Again, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Once again, this is Charles here from Dreamerspro. Wishing you guys an amazing day and catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.